Hello. It's Monday again, another week, second week in January, and the skies are pretty grey around here. It's quite light, so it's not dark. I just hope it doesn't rain. I've got to go out in a minute. So I thought I'd have a quick chat with you before I go. Let's see. Friday, when I last spoke to you on Friday, we just had lunch out at the Pinto Lounge in Banbury, and I'd said he'd have eggs and bacon, well, which is almost true, but he had actually had eggs Benedict, and he did actually have a slice of bacon with that. He absolutely loves that meal, you know, with the glorious hollandaise sauce on poached eggs and muffins. It's very nice. I just had soup, that was fine. So on Saturday morning we had a spot of babysitting to do. We were looking after his youngest granddaughter. So off we went, and then we went to visit friends because we'd been invited round to see their new DeLonghi coffee maker. It was a Christmas present, and so they wanted to show off their barista skills. So we had coffee there and lots of chat, and that was great fun. And then we were all going off to do different things, but we decided we'd have lunch together first at Lime's restaurant. It's a farm, Lime's Farm restaurant, that's right, at Farthinghoe, on the other side of Banbury. So we went there and we had, well, we really did have eggs and bacon there, because we had their farmer's bacon, which was farmer's breakfast, I should say, which was absolutely glorious, and it had all sorts of things. Unfortunately, it included black pudding, so I had to ask them not to give that to me. And I'm sorry to say to all those people who think it's wonderful, and my family all like it, I think it's absolutely disgusting. It's like white pudding or tripe. I just can't take it. So I had an extra egg, so that was rather nice. Yes, my aunt used to love eating tripe. She would say you have to cook it in milk with seasoning and lots of onions, and it was a real delicacy. But I'm afraid it's a delicacy I can live without, as with black pudding or white pudding. Well, I haven't even tried white pudding, and I'm afraid I'm not going to. There's so many other delicious foods out there to eat, so there's no point in eating. Or no need to eat anything you don't like, I mean, really don't like. I have tried black pudding, so I do know what I'm talking about. So there we are. So we had this lovely fried breakfast with lots of things, and the children were terribly good and ate up all their, what did they have? They had chicken nuggets and chips, so that was grand, and they were terribly good after they'd eaten it. They did some colouring with, they gave them a printed sheet which they could colour on, so that was great. And the littlest one just sat in his chair and played, and he was terribly good too, so that was great. And then after lunch we went, had a little walk about the farm, and the children thought that was great fun. We took pictures of them, and it's a farm that you can go and walk around, and they have an orchard, and the farm animals you can go and see, and also in the summer they have barbecues and all sorts of lovely things, and they have a Burns night coming along soon, which I'd rather like to go to, but goodness knows whether we will. It may just be one thing too many to go and do, but never mind. So that was good. And then we just came home and had a cosy evening at home in the evening, and only a very light snack, because really that breakfast was just enormous, which was good. I'm still recovering from eating all that food at Christmas time. January is rather like that, isn't it? You simply have to eat less. Then on Saturday, on Friday, Saturday afternoon also, evening I should say, I actually Skyped with my son in Australia, that was fun, and chatted to my daughter. So yes, it was a lovely day all round. Actually, we're getting terribly excited because we're expecting the birth of our first grandchild in Australia, so any day now, so that's really terribly, terribly exciting. We had a lovely chat about gardening, because my son's setting up his new garden in Australia, and we've been discussing it, and he's been buying trees and plants, and we're trying to help him with various information about bugs and pests that he's been suffering from. And so it's all very exciting. Hopefully if I go and can get out there this year to see them, I'll be able to help with their gardening, which will be great, because I just love gardening. So Saturday was a really, really super day. So on Sunday it was cold, frosty, and Alice wanted to go out for a walk, obviously, as soon as we all got up. So we took her to Dada's Wood, which is a very nice small area of woodland with a stream running through it, sheep on the other side. It has been prone to flooding recently, so the ground was, although it was frosty, it was mushy underneath, where the water still hadn't quite drained away. And the river was, you could see there were little bits of ice forming on the surface, but it was still running clear, so that was very good. I have to say, all this flooding has been terribly, terribly bad luck for all the people who've suffered from it, and I do hope that builders and local councils will get their act together and do what they did. I think it's in Sheffield, where they'd built some new flats, houses, well, a new development, and the builder had so managed the land that it had been landscaped to allow for a soakaway for the rainwater. So it didn't all collect about the houses and cause flooding. It was actually able to get away from the development, which seems a brilliant idea. And of course it's good for the environment, and it's good for people too, so that they don't get flooded, but also have a nice outlook from their homes. Because it really is, you know, I mean, it's just bad luck really if the heavens open and you get lots of rain pouring down on you. But if it doesn't soak away, if it doesn't drain away, well, that's really not bad luck. That's just bad management. So I hope well, I suppose the government eventually will have to do something about it to compel people to manage property properly, because it's not fair on people to have to buy houses in places where there is a flooding problem, and then for insurance bodies to say, well, I'm sorry, but you can't get any insurance cover for that because that's where you bought a home. I mean, people need homes. Yes, get off my soapbox now. But it is a problem, isn't it? Luckily, we don't suffer from it here. We're in the town. But we live at the bottom of a long sloping road, so of course when it snows, we can't get out. So there's problems with the weather, whatever, and wherever you are. Yes, I've got a frog in my throat, haven't I? Sunday morning, so after we went to Dadas Wood, we called in to see some more family members, and we were given muffins and tea for breakfast, because we'd gone out before we had time to eat. So, well, Alice has to get out as soon as possible, because we don't have a garden here, so of course she's absolutely dying to go to the loo as soon as we wake up. So, and we went out. It was very nice. And then Sunday afternoon, well, I did some baking. I made some gluten-rich scones and a Victoria sponge cake, because we had thought that we might have had some friends dropping in. Anyway, they didn't in the end, but never mind. It was great fun doing some baking, and my kitchen felt a bit neglected, as I hadn't been cooking at all and only making snacks. So that was rather nice. And then, of course, last night it was Sherlock, wasn't it? It was a final story in the current trilogy about Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. Of course, it's all terribly modern and new and really quite sophisticated and a bit bonkers, but a bit mad. But it was great fun. Did you watch it? God, they didn't say anything about a future series. I suppose we'll have to wait another year or so, which is, and of course you'll be able to see repeats of it. So it was very good indeed, yes, very good indeed. And we always watch all the old Sherlocks, you know, the original, but this one was excellent. So, yes, looking forward to seeing that again sometime. I think it's beginning to rain. I'm just looking out of the window. It is beginning to rain. Never mind, I've got to go out in a minute. And of course tonight it's the Bletchley Circle, that new series about Bletchley Park, the code breakers. And this is a new series about girls once they've left Bletchley, and I think it's the 1950s, so funny sort of time. I was terribly young then, really, really very young then, so I don't remember it. So anyway, so that's on tonight, so that's good, and I shan't see it. I shall have to watch a repeat because I'm up to my book club tonight. It's the first meeting of the new term, and we're doing Mrs. Gaskell's Ruth, which is, this poor unfortunate girl and a moral rectitude. That's really what it's about, and it's a bit of a heavy read, and I did get myself to read quite a lot of it yesterday, but whether I shall actually get to the end of the book, I don't know. But anyway, it's good to read. It is a classic, so it's good to read them. So there we are. So right, well, I'm going to whiz off now, and I shall see you again pretty soon, I hope. Well, have a good day and take care, and I hope you're not suffering with flood water still whirling around your house. I hope it's getting seen to. Okay, bye for now. Bye.